Okay, hold on real quick, folks. Opinions, okay? Can we get some opinion polling on this? I saw this on Twitter. This is another example of the of like the conservative like rage bait sensationalist media where somebody posts something on Snapchat or whatever or TikTok and it gets circulated and Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and everyone all do a segment on how this is how the left destroys the world or something. Here. Which I'm going to mute holy shit, that was loud. Which I'm going to mute because I'm invariably going to end up putting this on YouTube, and I'm sure that music is copyrighted somewhere. But like, here, we can set this, we're at some kind of club. They've got a drag queen, hippin' hoppin', hippity hoppity, you know, a hands off my property. I don't know. And then she like kisses the cheek, or I don't know if she like bends in or something. So I saw some people online getting really mad about this, and I saw some people defending it. And in my personal opinion, I think this is pretty bad. So this is clearly okay. So this is clearly some kind of like bar event or like a restaurant. I don't know. If you go into like queer friendly parts of town, you'll usually find that there are restaurants or bars or other venues that will frequently have drag queens or other types of performers. So naturally, all of the right is talking about how this is like enabling pedophilia or something. So I want to clarify, I guess, give my thoughts on this. I'm going for the enlightened centrist take. So for one, I think this is pretty fucking creepy. So that's leftist BTFO. And I also don't think this is pedophilia, and everyone who says it is doesn't actually care about child victims and only uses accusations of pedophilia as rage bait to further a political agenda against the left, while they continue to ignore the fact that by and large it is the Republican establishment that allows for child marriage and child beauty pageants across America. So I'm going to, so I don't see any other kids anywhere here, anywhere in this shot. So I'm going to assume this is an adult event that a kid was just brought to. Okay? So like, I don't know, like the mom, this I assume is the mom right here, because the caption says the sweet little girl asked her mom to get a better view. So I assume this is the mom because she's close and standing, like in a position to retrieve her daughter after this segment is done. So I'm going to assume this is the mom. So let's talk about this super quick, okay? So I don't think there's anything inherently wrong at all with like kids interacting with drag, okay? Drag story drag show reading time. What's that thing everyone got mad about it? Drag queen story hour. That's it. Everyone, all the conservatives get like super triggered about this. I don't think there's anything wrong with this shit. This fucking demon drag queen. I don't care. Kids love dressing up. Kids love things that are dressed up. I don't know. This is literally just like costume performers going to libraries to volunteer to read books for children who are who just like the fancy costumes. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Here's like Poseidus, god of the sea or something. I don't know. Poseidon. I don't know. Here's this person is like shiny. I don't know. I can't see much of their outfit here. They look very shiny to me. Kid seems to be having fun. I don't know. It's just costume. It's just people dressing up kind of silly. Drag is very silly, you know? Look at this. And one thing that you'll notice here is that all of these outfits aren't sexual. There's nothing sexual about them. This, I mean, they're performative. I don't know if I would say they're sexual, you know? This person doesn't, just wearing a dress with big poofy hair. is this sexual? I mean, it's just it's big poofy hair. There's nothing sexual about this. I don't think there's anything wrong with this at all. Kids love the costumes. There are so many people who are trying to turn this into some sort of moral panic, and all these people are giant pussy beta bitches, giant fucking cunts, frankly. There was some hubbub apparently because one drag queen who participated in this program was found to be a child sex offender, at which point, as soon as that information was revealed, they just let that person go because they're not going to do fucking background checks in a volunteer program to read at a library. Like, let's really think about that for a second, okay? So you find out that one of your performers who does this reading time thing was incarcerated on child sex thing. I don't know what the specific charge was, right? Now, you're literally doing like volunteer. This is literally like you show up at a library in public, you read a book in front of a bunch of kids and their parents, and then you go home. Like, this isn't like private like lessons behind locked doors. So we're not doing any security background checks on these people. You find out one of them is was a predator. Maybe they still have predatory intentions. I have no idea. Maybe they don't. I don't know. And then you let them go. Where's the controversy? Where's the controversy? This says literally nothing about like drag queen or drag time story hour as a broader community or broader exercise, because there's nothing fucking wrong with this. You goddamn snowflakes. You fucking crybaby moralizing conservative cowards. You're like Jack Thompson. You're like people who say satanic video games are turning their children gay. It's just baby shit. Fuck off. It's just, what is this? What is this? Is this sexualized? I admit I find it terrifying, but is it sexualized? No, it's just fucking a lot of effort. Look, this person's Ariel. I don't think this is drag time. This is it drag? I don't know. This person's just dressed up like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. You know what I mean? The point being is that there's just nothing inherently wrong with drag and children interacting with one another. Now, sometimes I think the interaction is bad. It's not inherent to the relationship, but I think that it's just bad anyway. Like those kid drag queens, for example. Kid drag queens. Like those 11-year-old, like this. Now, what am I looking at here? This is like a little boy, and he's like a little drag drag queen, okay? Now, here is a fact. They're slaying right now. That is true. But here is another fact. This is just like child beauty pageants, but woke. This is just woke child beauty pageants. Fuck that. I don't think it's okay. I don't like the idea of kids. Maybe if the kid's like 16 or 17 or something, maybe that's fine. But the issue is when you were talking about the beautification of children, whether that be for het child beauty pageants or woke drag queen child beauty pageants, what we're doing is essentializing the attractiveness of the kid, because that is what this is. You're lying if you don't believe that. Being in drag or being in a beauty pageant or anything, these things essentialize beauty. That is a component of the presentation. It is looking good. And when you do that, you have to acknowledge the fact that while drag is not necessarily sexual, in the same way that modeling is not necessarily sexual, there can be overlaps between those things and sexuality that can make this very dicey for kids. For instance, I remember there was some controversy after some kid drag queen, it might have even been this one, I'm not sure, was performing at a gay bar, dancing while like older men threw money at them. That's highly unacceptable. And I blame the parent in that case. I don't care how slay, queen, fierce, woke, extra yes your kid is. I don't care. If that is so juxtaposed, that so heavily overlaps with sexualization and with sexual exploitation, it's just incredibly inappropriate. There are videos out there of that. I'm not going to go over them here. You don't need to. You can look at them if you want. Again, I don't think this makes drag inherently dangerous for children, much in the same way that I don't think it's inherently dangerous for like a supermodel, like a Hollywood actress or whatever. Like, I don't know, who's a Scarlett Johansson, you know? I don't think, like, if someone took a pic of like Scarlett Johansson with my kid, or if Scarlett Johansson went to a library to read like books for kids or something, I would never think that's inappropriate, you know? Even though Scarlett Johansson is a very attractive, who often wears fairly revealing clothing, the big boobies, you know, I don't think there's anything necessarily problematic about Scarlett Johansson hanging out with kids, but I wouldn't want to have a kid do what Scarlett Johansson does, with all the makeup and the do-up and the revealing outfits and the performing, knowing essentially that you're selling your beauty in addition to your acting talents. I wouldn't want kids doing that. So that's my thoughts on all of this. And now we get back to this, you know. So I said there's nothing inherently wrong with drag interacting with kids. And I think that's true. If a kid is watching a drag performance, I've seen many drag performances. Maybe not many. I've seen a fair number of drag performances myself. Some of them are non-sexual. I would say some of them are even kid-friendly, you know? I would say some drag performances are actually, in fact, designed for children because they're all sparkle and flash. They're not sexual at all. It's fun and silly. You know, kids love dress up. This is pretty sexual. Like, let's not be stupid here. This is a sexualized outfit. The super duper short shorts and the super high heels and the booby implant things and the dances. The dance isn't super bad except for the crawl at the beginning. Like if someone approached me, if I was in the position of the little girl there and somebody approached me like this, I know I'm about to get my dick sucked. I know I'm about to fucking blow a load down somebody's throat. This right here, this is, I know what this means if I was in her position, you know? This is a sexual dance. This is a sexual outfit. And this venue seems to be mostly for adults. It looks like some of the other people here are kind of uncomfortable with having the girl in the seat too. This isn't just a kid watching drag. This is drag being performed on a child. And it's fairly sexual drag at that. I think this is inappropriate. Do I think this is some weird pedophilia grooming thing? No, I don't. I don't think that. I think the mom's probably just maybe the mom heard the girl say that the girl was like, hey, you know, that's cool, I want to see, and the mom kind of like was, oh, here, you know, and they got a chair for her or something. This just seems to me like an inevitable union of stupidity and poor taste eventually realizing as cringeworthy material on social media. And like inevitably, no matter what elements we're talking about, whether it be drag and kids or suspenders and oatmeal, eventually somebody will find a way to unite these things in a stupid way. I don't think it speaks towards a broader problem with drag. I just think this specific instance was pretty inappropriate. That's it. That's my whole take. See how long it took me to get to that? I think this specifically is inappropriate. And now that I've gotten through all that, I can say I think the drag queen here is pretty hot. Can't really see the face. It's a nice ass. What are you going to do? Yeah, dumb woke parents, essentially. But there are people who are treating this like this is a child grooming scheme, which it absolutely is not. And I want to make it clear that the drag here isn't the issue. Do you think this would be any more appropriate if it was a woman dressed this way, presenting as a woman? It was a woman in booty shorts crawling like, you know, like a Britney Spears-esque like eyeliner dripping down your cheeks as you approach and shake your ass at this 5-year-old girl. No, I don't think that'd make it any better. The drag clearly isn't the issue here. But yeah, there you go. Very often there's no nuance in these discussions, where the right will start talking about this like it's a satanic plot to destroy white America, and then leftists feel like they're in a position where they have to defend it wholesale. So they start saying dumb stuff like, I don't think there's anything inappropriate about this. When I think most of those people, if pressed, would agree, like, okay, maybe it's a bit weird, but I don't think it's as bad as being described, you know? Yeah, exactly, Hyena. Like, all these fucking super concerned with pedophilia people will, again, completely ignore Trump and Epstein's fucking best friendship. The fact that Trump was actively praising Epstein for going after younger girls, Black Book, everything, but then they get, like, super concerned about some public performance in a bar somewhere in fucking Seattle. You know? Yeah, we go. What did Lilith say? I'm seeing conservatives saying some pretty nasty shit as a response to this video. I'm honestly afraid this video will contribute in radicalizing the right. I mean, it will, Lilith, because that's how it is. Moral panic and moral outrage are how reactionaries breed. You know, it's how they foster. So they don't develop by like they don't develop by like hearing a good take or like reading a book or something. They see something online they don't like, and then a wave of demagogues jump in to explain to them how what they're looking at is actually the death of civilization, you know? And that's how people are treating it here. Like, we can look at some of the comments if we're going to look at some of the comments if we want to. Let's see. Just so mommy dearest can show and tell her friends, I'm woke, see, disgusting. They do this a lot too. It's a really weird form of projection. Like, the only reason a mom would want their kid to, like, see a show up front, even if it's inappropriate, is for virtue signaling. They do that a lot. This is sickening. This is child abuse. This isn't child abuse. It's weird, maybe. I don't think it's child abuse. This is child abuse. Hope CPS pays a visit to her parents. Yeah. Here we've got another one of the things. I'll agree, by the way. I mean, I'll bite the bullet on this. I don't think there's anything wrong with drag. I would say that that having a kid pose like with this, I'd say that's... Then again, wait, actually, hold on really quickly. Let me examine my internal bias right here. Would I have an issue with a kid taking a picture with like some bikini model who is dressed up in like a really provocative way? If they were dressed really scantily but in a highly performative way, would I mind a kid taking a picture with them? I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I'm inherently assuming that there's something more predatory about a dude being dressed that way. Maybe it's because they're not actually wearing clothing like that. I would. Okay, I think people would have different perspectives on that, maybe. Not my child, not on my watch. Oh, okay. I didn't realize we were all so opposed to bikini models. Oh, okay. All right. Well, whatever the case is, lot to unpack there. Why are adults cheering for this? Almost as if she's getting a lap dance. Abuse. Every single adult in the room is so brainwashed and deranged. This is... so, just so you guys... Come on, that's not a bikini model. I was thinking of the closest thing I could... the closest thing that I could find a relationship to. It's probably something that should be, looked at with a great deal of scrutiny. Should kids be afraid of nudity? Well, no, I don't think kids should necessarily be afraid of nudity. It's mostly about the line you want to draw between like the asexual celebration of like the like nude or nude-esque drag aesthetics and the potential for like sexualizing a relationship with a child. I would usually veer on the side of caution. Child abuse is pretty common, generally speaking. There's surely an interesting discussion to be had there, but these people are projecting like crazy. America is slowly but surely becoming Sodom and Gomorrah. First, it was the acceptance of homosexuality. Then, the transgender ideology. Next is the minor attracted person nonsense. Remember how 4chan literally ran a psyop trying to normalize the idea that pedophilia was a part of being LGBT? I do want to say this, though. What we're looking at here, remember how earlier in this same stream we were watching Trump like embarrass himself and sputter into a mic about how the coronavirus was a hoax, and his dipshit audience like applauded, and we were talking about how like this is blackpilling, you know, this is blackpilling, this makes me want to kill myself, how the fuck are these people alive, why do I have to share a democracy with these people? Remember? You remember that, right? Earlier in the stream. This is the conservative version of that right here. So we get upset when a president ignores the existence of a pandemic to get applause at a crowd, and they get upset because somewhere in fucking Milwaukee, you know, there's a bar out there where a sexy drag queen performed next to a kid. Not saying this is right or anything, but there's a pretty huge difference in the scale of outrage between our side and their side.